What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Double B here, back with another video. This is Tuddy Talk Week 15. Before we get started, just do a quick recap from last week. We had a pretty good week. We did go 5-6, but we did gain 2.5 units. David Njoku plus 375 was the biggest hit we hit yet last week, which made us profitable. So that's the thing with touchdowns. Doesn't really matter about win loss. It's more about odds and the value that you can find. So pretty good week last week. That brings our total record up to 5.5 units on the season. So we have a few weeks left. We have 15, 16, we have like four more weeks left of regular season. I'll still do it for the playoffs as well, but yeah, let's focus on week 15 for right now. So I'm not gonna waste any more time. Let's get into it. For the first game here, we have Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. I'm going with Rashard White, anytime touchdown scorer over at FanDuel at plus 100. I think you're getting pretty good value for him, even at plus money. I like it. Green Bay struggle against the run all year. Tampa Bay's been using White a lot in the red zone. He's their main running back. So, when they get close, he's going to be their main guy. He also catches the ball, too. Might even sprinkle on his first time touchdown as well. They tend to go to him early in the game. So I like him in this spot this week against Green Bay. Next one up's probably the guy that I go play the most, especially for this video segment, Tuddy Talk, is Alvin Kamara. Anytime touchdown score over at FanDuel minus 105. Giants, they're not great this year at all. They struggle against both really receivers, running backs, more so running backs. But Kamara, like I said, I just like that he's a pass catcher. He's a great running back. He is their, for the most part, their main running back. I mean, Taysom Hill can take away some touchdowns in the red zone. Maybe not even touchdowns, but just carries in general in the red zone. Jamal Williams usually doesn't get touches really. So the main guy is Kamara. He's been a cash cow for us. And still pretty good odds at minus 105. Definitely take him in a good matchup this week. Next man up is Bijan Robinson in the Atlanta versus Carolina game over at FanDuel at plus 155. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Robinson this year. He's burned me, especially early on in the year. They were not using him. Like, his usage was very weird earlier in the year. But over the second half of the season, they used him much more. And you couldn't ask for a better matchup against Carolina, which I'm surprised his odds are even this high at, plus 155. I mean, every running back, they've allowed over 20 touchdowns to running backs this year. Rushing touchdowns alone. It's not even including receiving touchdowns. So, I like Robinson to definitely score this week against Carolina. Like I said, couldn't ask for a better matchup here. Next game up is Houston versus Tennessee. One of my least favorite games, really, on this slate. I don't really like these 1 o'clock games. Pretty trash, a lot of them. But, I'm going to go with Anka Kawui. Don't know how to pronounce that. Probably messed that up. But, yeah. They used a tight end for the Titans. Houston struggled against tight ends all year. Um, you know, at plus 320, I definitely like the odds there. Over at PointsBet, like I said, probably butchered his name, but like I said, he's a starting tight end for Tennessee. He's been getting targets, he's been getting looks. I know Hopkins is like the main guy they throw to over there, but Houston's actually been really good against receivers this year, especially allowing them to score. So tight ends is where they struggle at. So for plus 320, I'll take a chance with him. Next game up is the Jets versus the Dolphins. Gonna roll with Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown score over at ESPN Bet at plus 275. Miami, they should put up points whether Tyreek Hill plays or not. He kind of crushed us this past week with the ladder challenge, but it is what it is. Injuries are part of the game. It sucks. But whether Tyreek Hill plays or not, still think the Dolphins are going to put up points, even though it is a great Jets defense. I'd rather just roll the dice with Garrett Wilson, though. Zach Wilson seems to really like throwing to him, so I like the chances here, like his odds at plus 275. Next game up is the Bears versus the Browns. Um, Going with Cooper, anytime touchdown score over at FanDuel at plus 210. Pretty good odds for him, especially at home. I will never play him on the road. It's one thing that's definitely important. There are players that have very bad like home and away splits, and Cooper is one of them. I will never play him on the road with anything. He's an auto fit on the road. Only play him at home. He has a pretty favorable matchup against the Bears. They're much better against the run than they are pass. So I like him to see the end zone this week against the Bears. Next game up is the Chiefs versus the Patriots. It's kind of a weird game. I mean, New England's so hard to trust anybody on that team. And the Chiefs just looked out of sync, out of sorts. But I'm going to roll Rice, anytime touchdown score over at FanDuel at plus 185. He's, made it clear he's the number one receiver for them. Obviously, they have Travis Kelce. He's not played up to his normal potential this year. But Rice has looked good. New England's very good against tight ends this year. They only allowed one touchdown to tight ends all year. I mean, which is why I didn't go with Travis Kelce. It's still Travis Kelce, still not like your average tight end. But they do struggle against receivers, New England, that is. So I'll go with Rashid Rice. Pretty good value. Travis Kelce, don't mind, if you want to go with him. But I think he was like minus 115, minus 120. And to me, it's really not worth the odds the way he's been playing, the way the Chiefs have been playing overall, especially with this matchup. Rather just, go for some value with Rice here. Like I said, yeah, kind of a weird game. The total's pretty low. I believe it was like 38, 39 and a half. So kind of a weird game. But, yeah, I'll just roll with Rice. Next game up is Washington versus the Rams. Gonna go with Cooper Kupp, anytime touchdown over on points bet at plus 120. It is a toss up between him and Puka. I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, they could both score. Washington is awful against the pass. They have allowed the second most touchdowns. I think they crossed the line. They like allowed 20 or 21 receiving touchdowns to receivers this year. They've just been awful. And Cooper Kupp, he's a target monster. He's finding his groove. He scored in the last two games. He's still Stafford's favorite target to throw to, especially in the red zone. So, either one you can go up with. It's tough for me to choose. It was a tough decision to go with him or Puka, but I'll go with Kupp. He's more reliable, has more chemistry, and like I said, honestly, they could both score in this game. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So. Yep, I'll go with Cooper Kupp for this one. Next game up is San Fran versus Arizona. I'm going with Deebo Samuel, anytime touchdown score over at FanDuel at plus 105. Arizona has just been pretty bad all year. And Deebo Samuel has been going crazy with touchdowns. I believe he has like 6 touchdowns, either 5 or 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He scored 3 touchdowns in one, scored 2 last week. He's just been, he's been running it. He's been catching it. Like I said, I love dual threat guys. Especially in this offense with the 49ers, they use him really well. So I like the spot here. I like him to score. He actually has better road splits in terms of scoring wise, which is kind of weird. But yeah, he's one of those guys that actually scores more on the road than at home. So this game's in Arizona, so I like him to score again this week. In the last game, it's going to be Dallas versus Buffalo. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown score over at FanDuel at plus 120. I know Dallas defense, they've been really good this year, especially, against touchdowns to wide receivers particularly. But I think it's going to be a tough game for Dallas in Buffalo. Dallas is coming off, possible letdown spot, coming off a big division win. Diggs, I know his brother Trevon Diggs is not playing. He's out for the year, but I still think he's going to make a point to try to have a good game. His brother's going to be right there. I'm sure a lot of family's going to be there. I think he's going to look to score this game. I think he's going to look to have a big game. If the Bills are going to win the total, I think it's at 50 points. Last time I checked. If they're going to win, I see him scoring for sure. So I like him over at FanDuel at plus 120 to score. Should be a good game, high total. But yeah, it's the last game. Like I always say, like, comment, subscribe, comment down below if there's any guys that I missed that you like that you think is gonna score this week. Yeah. Other than that, good luck and let's cash this weekend. Peace.